Disney is completely distancing themselves from Rachel Zegler.
She refused to keep her fat mouth shut.
Disney's Snow White was essentially a box office dud.
Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney. We've heard her.
She turned a literal fairy tale into a nightmare, and now her bratty attitude is getting her blacklisted.
To everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
But she's not backing down. Disney is being sued for removing her from future projects.
We're now preparing to sue Disney as well as other mega movie studios for terminating her future contracts without reason.
So what really is this weird Hollywood has seen some career nosedives before, but this is like a comet plummeting to Earth. We are officially witnessing the Rachel Zegler effect in real time, and it's just like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
No Brown, a spicy Latina with skin as white as snow.
Rachel has somehow gone from Hollywood's next big thing to the biggest Disney disaster, and it all started with her comments about the original Snow White movie, calling it weird and outdated.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently.
Now listen. You can mess with a lot of things in Hollywood, but you do not mess with nostalgia. Naturally, the internet exploded. People were fuming, calling for Disney to drop her. And hey, guess what it looks like? Disney actually listened, because Rachel, maybe getting it all began. When Zegler's interviews about Snow White went viral, and not in a good way, instead of celebrating the magic of the 1937 classic, she basically called it sexist and irrelevant.
That is not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Disney fans love Snow White because it's a timeless classic, but instead of celebrating the nostalgia, Zegler made it seem like she was starring in Snow White and the Feminist Manifesto. Nobody was amused. Just look at some of these comments. There's absolutely no way I am ever going to watch this garbage. Look. Hollywood loves a good aggressive narrative, but there's a fine line between being an advocate and being insufferable. Rachel might have crossed that line. Every interview felt less like movie promotion and more like a Twitter thread about why. Everything is problematic, so the results should not surprise anyone. She alienated the very fans she needed most.
Box office from a Disney live-action remake that they've ever done in Dumbo.
Rumors are swirling that Disney has had enough of Zegler's PR disasters and has quietly decided to cut ties with her. To make it extra dramatic, they're allegedly planning to do it on Christmas Day. That's right, Disney, the company known for wholesome magic and holiday cheer, might be serving up Zegler's termination notice as a Christmas gift, and honestly, can you blame them?
Continue shitting on Snow White and the prince and young love and women who want to get married.
The writing has been on the wall for a while. Zegler has been attached to multiple projects that either flopped or underperformed. West Side Story had underwhelming numbers. Shazam! Fury of the Gods was also a box office ghost town, and Hunger Games. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes became the lowest-grossing film in the entire franchise. Disney is in crisis mode, trying to recover from a series of financial mistakes, cough the Marvels cough, and they can't afford to keep investing in someone who...
Yeah, they certainly are. Now listen, if Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood.
As the backlash grows, old clips of Zegler have surfaced, leading to more controversy.
All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Instead of damage control, it seemed like she kept doubling down. She dismissed criticisms, laughed off concerns, and at one point seemed outright annoyed at the idea of promoting the film. When asked if she was excited to play Snow White, she responded with, I don't really like the original movie, so...
Well, there has been inevitable backlash online, fans accusing Disney of inserting unnecessary feminism into classic fairy tales.
Disney poured over $250 million into Snow White, expecting a global box office hit, but instead, they got a nightmare. Early projections suggested a brutal flop with one of the worst openings for a Disney live-action.
Currently, Snow Woke and the 7 Pronouns is sitting at 43% on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes.
Let's not even talk about China, where it reportedly made less than $1 million. Turns out alienating your audience and trashing a classic isn't the best marketing strategy. One of Zegler's biggest complaints about Snow White was the prince. She repeatedly mocked the original romance, calling him a stalker, and suggesting his scene should be cut entirely.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Sure, the prince isn't exactly the most developed Disney character, but did she forget she was starring in a love story? It's like signing up for Romeo and Juliet and then demanding that Romeo get written out. Naturally, Disney fans didn't take kindly to this, and social media exploded with calls to boycott the film. Oh, but it gets better. In came Peter Dinklage, who criticized Disney for including dwarves, calling it offensive. Disney, in full panic mode, scrapped the classic dwarves and replaced them with random CGI characters, making things even worse.
Are roles made for actors of my stature. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me.
Zegler, of course, praised the decision, acting as though she personally reinvented fairy tales. But instead of applause, fans were left confused, frustrated, and wondering if anyone involved even liked Snow White. Hollywood tried to push Rachel Zegler as the next A-list star, but the box office numbers show she's about as bankable as Monopoly money.
Y2K is a smash hit.
This was supposed to be her big moment, her chance to shine outside of big franchises. Instead, it hit the box office like a dial-up connection in 1999, painfully slow and full of errors. The movie opened to a tragic $2.1 million on a $15 million budget. That's not just bad. That's someone's getting fired. Bad. To make things worse, it got absolutely smoked by movies that had been out for weeks. Even a re-release of Interstellar, a movie from 2014, made more money. Christopher Nolan's Wormhole time travel movie outperformed Rachel Zegler's brand new film. Man, if only they let the dwarf stick.
There appears to be a sizable problem. Where are the dwarves?
Perhaps the turnout would have been a little better, but the backlash was so bad that Disney reportedly scrapped the original release date for Snow White and is now desperately trying to figure out what to do, reshoot, recasting, or maybe just quietly, letting it disappear into the Disney vault, never to be spoken of again. Jonah Platt, a Disney producer's son, has blamed the entire disaster on Zegler, saying her political views and narcissism are what tanked the movie. He deleted the IG post, where he absolutely...
Of course, what would you do when you have this narcissistic nightmare trying to ruin a film?
One thing's for sure, after multiple flops, industry insiders are reportedly steering clear of Zegler like she's got cooties. One studio executive said it's not just her numbers, it's the baggage she brings.
Person, in my opinion. Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like...
So Zegler isn't just bad for business. She's a liability. And in Hollywood, if you're not making money, you're not making movies. It's not just Hollywood turning its back on Zegler. The internet has collectively decided she's canceled. The Snow White trailer racked up millions of dislikes, and social media has turned her into a meme machine. People are making edits of her interviews with captions like "How to kill a movie franchise in 10 seconds or less." She's become the poster child for Hollywood misfires, and at this point, if you see her name on a movie poster, you already know it's a financial risk. But hey, at least it's a good thing Rachel doesn't need our business.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
So be it. Anyway, what's next for Zegler Broadway? Comeback, Dancing with the Stars redemption arc, maybe an apology to her fans unless she makes a dramatic career shift or pulls a Robert Downey Jr. level. Comeback, the industry seems ready to leave her behind. It looks like this time, at the end of the day, Rachel is learning the hard way that Hollywood isn't just about talent, it's about likability. You can't alienate your audience, disrespect beloved franchises, and expect to stay on top. Zegler went from Hollywood's next big thing to Hollywood's next big disaster in record time. If there's one lesson to take from this, it's simple. Never bite the hand that cast you, because in this town, once they're done with you, there's no coming back. So long Snow White looks like the fairest of them all, just got the coldest shoulder in Hollywood. What do you guys think? Was Disney right to distance itself from her, or are they just shifting the blame, and would you still watch a movie with Rachel Zegler in the future, or is she completely canceled in your eyes? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay in the loop with all the latest celebrity news. Oh, and hey, check out our next video, you won't want to miss it.